Greetings, everyone. RetroIndieGamer here, and today I'm doing R.I.G plays of AVG and Adventures, mostly because I feel like it. Now, as a warning in advance, since this is a game based off of the Angry Video Game Nerd, there is going to be a lot of his language choices present in this game, and in turn this video, most notably in the game over screen. Just thought I'd give you that warning in advance before I start playing. Now let's start. Using the zapper as the NES zapper, the second model of that. Continue. Oh, glitch. Let's see, what level should I take care of? Let's see, maybe this one. Like I said, his language is present. I got completed the Hell one, the Castlevania one, and the one based off those, how should I put this? Adult-oriented Atari games? Yeah, I purposely went for that one to make sure that one did not show up in this video. Because I don't know how many of these I'm going to be able to complete in time frame I usually have for these videos. And I have a bit of commentary on each one of these levels. Let's do the futuristic one that seems like it's based off of Street Fighter 2010 or something. Press A button. Note in advance, I'm using my Xbox 360 controller. Let's kill Rob. Like I said, AVG's language is present. Let's see. Kill Rob. Now, Rob is an interesting piece of Nintendo history. And I think I might mention this in my Gyromite video. But he is basically the reason that he was basically the thing that helped he was basically Nintendo's main selling point when the NES came out. Yeah, robots were very in at the time. And they tried marketing it as basically a toy robot. And even though I don't think Rob came with the console, he was there at launch, along with Gyromite. I'm not sure if Stack Up was available at launch, but I know it wasn't. It was, but given the fact it was one of the black box games, probably. And for those who aren't familiar with NES games, the black box games are the original NES launch titles. Basically, Gyromite, basically Gyromite. A whole bunch of those. Yeah, and a lot of black box games. What's interesting is that, as I found out, and I knew that Gyromite did this, is that in the 1985 holiday season, that Nintendo for manufacturing it, they didn't have enough time to manufacture all these NES cartridges to sell in North America. So what they did was something that I think a lot of video game collectors and enthusiasts now are happy with. Oh, Risk Lemon. Yeah, that they released many of the NES black box games, especially the ones during the 1985 year. They had a converter thrown into as they basically took the Famicom cartridges for those games. And they put them in a converter so they can be played on NES. And those things are highly sought after today. I know the two biggest, most well-known ones for that one are Gyromite and Stack Up. And I found out since a copy of Gyromite I had that, well, it's not one of the ones with the converter thrown in. I know there are several others that are. Like, usually, I know Stack Up for certain has a converter thrown in. Oh, the disappearing blocks. What is this, Mega Man? Wait, yes it is. I mean, this level almost seems to be poking fun at Capcom. Oh, dead again. I think. Guitar guy. Oh, press button switch. Ah! Oh, that was bad! Anyway, yeah, interesting seeing his comments. At least I still have the guitar guy. Yeah, early NES days are interesting. Especially think of all those games that had the converter phone in. Yeah. I haven't found one myself, but I know they've found a lot in Jaromite, and I think 42, Clue Clue Land, and I think there's a whole list of games that have the converter phone in. But it's just, yeah, it's happening for Rob. Interesting idea, but his execution could have been better. Plus, he was only playable with 2 games. And one of them, and Jaromite, as I mentioned in my video for that, you can play the whole thing without him, and it's actually a bit of fun. Especially saying it was an NES launch title from the early NES days. Ugh! Oh, that sucked! Before we go more into detail of the different games, I'll talk a little bit about this game. The basic story is it almost sounds like a combination of Action 52 and Captain N. As it involves the nerd and his friends being pulled into the television, like in Cheetah 2, Cheetah for Action, that's part of Action 52. To Gameland, I think it's supposed to be a take on Videoland from Captain N. Hey, that was a great show when I was younger. And it's great for what it is. And using it in a video game is this is an interesting concept. The disappearing blocks. I think anyone who grew up who's playing a Mega Man game, especially the older ones, they know that we all have choice words. Throws blocks. Yeah, I like how the nerd is equipped with the zapper and the power glove, or at least the second zapper. The orange one, which I think. As I remember when I had the NES zapper years ago. Oh, you're sticking off, man! Yeah, I remember back when I had the NES zapper that I had I think I had the gray one, which is the original model. I think that also came with the console. Considering the console, for years came with Super Mario Duck. Is the recording software causing sort of lag? Whoa! 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 And Power Glove, yeah, interesting piece of history. One of the many early experiments with motion controls. Of course, the one problem with Power Glove is that at this point in time, many of the thing itself doesn't work anymore. I remember one of my friends mentioned that for the Power Glove is that, well, even though the machine itself was not the greatest, he mentioned that the problem with AVGNs was not the with the was not that the Power Glove was entirely crap. It was because that by that point the sensors had gotten so old they don't work that well. That they don't at this point, or at least at the point, especially probably around starting at the point when AVGN made the when James Rolfe, the man behind it, AVGN created the when he made the episode on when he made the episode on Power Glove, that by that point the sensors had gotten so they weren't working that well anymore. But granted, it only works with a couple games to begin with. But for some reason, it works with most of the racing games, which is an insult to the few good NES racing games there were, which would mostly include, well, Rad Racer, Super Mega Duck Christ. Now, this reminds me of one of the puzzles from Super. Whoa! You are dead. Times from the original Dragon Quest North America. Thou art dead. Like, whoa. What the hell? Yeah, thou art dead. You know, this thing's blocks right here reminds me of one of the puzzles of one of the sections in Super Mario 3D Land. As it also has a very similar section. Another beer. Yeah, if you played Super Mario 3D Land for 3DS, oh hell. Then you'll remember that there's a puzzle in that game that's very similar to this. Or those sections of this game where you have different colored blocks that appear in a set pattern. Oh, stupid death blocks! Those are the annoyances in this game. Every game seems to have those. And not just in this game, it's a great game. And it's perfect as I love side-scrollers. Yeah, they're probably my favorite video game genre. Oh! Yeah, those death blocks are probably the equivalents of the Castlevania games. And the spikes in Mega Man. Or really any Mega Man games. They all have those stupid. A lot of the Mega Man games have those stupid. Actually, all of them have spikes. Though in some of the later games, such as the ZX games on the DS, if you set the difficulty to easy, I don't think the spikes will kill you immediately. Solar Surfer. Oh, that was bad. I mentioned was pretty good. I've always wondered what James has against Simon's Quest. I mean, it's not a bad game, it's just very different from the original Castlevania. I mean, a lot of the NES games were different, were significantly different from the originals. And it's funny that that the gameplay in Simon's Quest is probably the closest to the modern Castlevania games. Or at least all 2D games post Symphony of the Night and later. Now this game, it's interesting seeing all, yeah, it's interesting seeing all the games that this thing's so good fun at. And the last level is the, oh no, it's the person from that one Atari Jaguar game. Kill the head. Tails the easiest. What do you want to be? Good one. Let's just see. Yeah, the last level is based on probably the main company enemy of AVGN, and probably Rolf himself, probably James himself. LJN. LJN is somewhat interesting. Let's see, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, LJN is an interesting. Okay, I did not go down there. My reference to a Pitfall episode that shows that the Castlevania that Pitfall was definitely lost it after the second game. I mean, if you talk to anyone who's played Pitfall games, they'll all tell you that the first two Atari games are the best. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, oh yeah, LJN, interesting company in its own right. Of course, one thing that's interesting about their games is that this might actually make it worse, but they never developed a single game. They're strictly a publisher. So AVGN's anchor with LJN should really be taken on one of the countless companies that they had made the games for them. And of course, some of you might know some companies that actually made some of LJN. Like, I have to know a few examples of games that were developed by interesting companies. Let's see. Nightmare on Elm Street, Who Framed Roger, Beetlejuice. Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, Beetlejuice, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. As well, I think some of the Spider-Man games that LJN had for the Game Boy. They were developed by Rare. Yes, you heard that right. Rare as in Rareware. Yeah. Well, thank you, the platform game. Happens a lot. Yeah, Rare as in Rareware. The same company that made... Yeah, the same company that made games later on, like Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong, yeah, I think Donkey Kong 64, as well as the first three Donkey Kong Country games, along with Banjo-Kazooie and its sequels. Yeah, a lot of our older games were really old games that Atari If you look at a list of some really shoot that guy with the gun. If you look at a list of some of the really old games that Rare made, yeah, you'll notice that a lot of them were pretty bad. Okay, before I got to more commentary stuff, but other games, I should talk more about this game. Sorry, I like to talk about gaming history. But things about the first game, yeah, the power, this whole game is basically a trip to gaming history. I mean, especially some of the power-ups. I mean, one of the power-ups you get is the Super Scope 6. You remember the bazooka light gun? Yeah, which it's a good upgrade, but unfortunately you can only get hit once before you revert back to regular zapper, which I think is sad. Oh, this is. Yeah, if you play, yeah, Mega Man fans, prepare to be pissed off. The disappearing blocks, the bane of Mega Man. Huh. Oh, there's definitely some sort of lag with my recording. What the hell? It doesn't usually do this. Whoa, whoa! Oh, come on! Yes, yeah. This game has a lot of cameos to a lot of YouTube personalities, like Pat Damon NES Punk, which makes sense. But one that I don't know why it's there is a cameo from Angry Joe. I don't get why, unless I have no idea. Yeah, just thinking, this game has a couple of different difficulty modes. Yeah, the one I'm playing is the easy mode, which has all the checkpoints. Yeah, that's definitely one of the major problems I find looking back at NES games. So a lot of them. What? What? So a lot of problems aren't enough checkpoints. And oftentimes when you got game over in a lot of NES games, excuse me, so especially when you have very few lives, you basically have to start the whole game over. Basically, to start the entire game over, which is a real pain. What? I jumped, you idiot game! It's all over. Not yet. Yeah, a lot of NES games has this problem. Fortunately, a lot of those games have been re-released today. For the ones that have been re-released. Yeah, for ones that have been re-released. Oh, come on! Yeah, for ones that have been re-released, some of them have been re-released with save features. And some even the ability to save anywhere, which is a real help. Hell, even the PS Virtual Console does this. Nintendo finally realized what a lot of people like using now is you can save pretty much anywhere when using. It's also great for preserving games, because at this point, some of these games don't work that well anymore. Yeah, I noticed that a lot of NES games have troubles working these days. Most of it is due to something that a lot of people did for some reason back in the 80s. And that's blowing on the cartridges, which is actually pretty harmful to the cartridge. The reason it was necessary? The design flaws in the NES itself. Well, why is everything slowed down? Yeah, if I lose another life, I'm calling it quits for today. Whoa! Oops! Let's do a block! Now, this game definitely has NES frustration written all over it. Oh, what? I was a second off! Second off! All sorts of ways to make you angry. Yeah, I like how this game has all sorts of references to different AVGN episodes. So the one that is no surprise that I made sure I played ahead of time, so it wouldn't end up in here for some reason, is the one based off of the adult-oriented Atari games. Which there are surprisingly a lot of those, mostly from Mystique. And for those of you who are probably wondering why Nintendo was so hardline about this, with their censorship policies back in the Super Nintendo days, especially, those games in particular games in the too bad. Yeah, those particular games in the Atari are, or at least part of it, they wanted to prevent unlicensed games like that in their console. Which is interesting because a lot of unlicensed games did end up on their console. Let's see how I make that save point. What the hell? I had that timed! Die, you octopus things. For like the millionth time today. Yeah, some of the bosses of this game are interesting. Yeah, the end boss is the programmer. And some of the other bosses I saw on the in the 2010 level. Okay, God, it looks like that's in the toaster. The AGN's NES clone that he had for a while. What the hell? Still uses the thing from time to time. Yeah, there's a lot of good NES clones available. This time I definitely need to get a new computer. If I'm having trouble recording a platformer. Seems to be working fine now. Oh, what the hell? Sorry, when I get angry at these games, a lot of stuff I make does not make does not. Yeah, some of it is purely for comedic purposes. And this game, a lot of these games are almost like chock full of good material for this. For these type of videos, for my gaming commentaries. Yeah, let's see. Who are some of the bosses that AGN had in some of his episodes? Let's see. We got the person from that one really bad Jaguar game. And which some of the games in it were decent. The only problem was that the console was not that good. Then there's all things people saying it wasn't actually 64-bit, when in actuality, just looking at the parts of that thing, it was. What the hell was that? Welcome to Die. The NES in a nutshell. Welcome to Die. Yeah, let's see. Some of the other bosses. Let's see. The end boss is the programmer. Whoa! Whoa! What the? You are dead. Yeah, some of the other bosses. Let's see. The Castlevania level. For Castlevania level, the end boss was the yeah, the end boss. Whoa! What? Oh, I hate when these things hit you. Right as soon as he presses jump button and cause fall to a pin and die. Yeah, some of the other bosses. Let's see. The Castlevania, the same stage. Boss there was Jekyll and Hyde, reference to one of the worst NES games ever. And one that, unless I get an awful lot of quests, I'm not going to go anywhere near that game. Because that bad. Huh, there we are. Yeah, that game is that... oh. Whoa! Oh, fail. Yeah, that game was that game is that. Yeah, one of the worst NES games. So the worst NES game is probably Action 52. But of officially licensed games, Conan. But licensed games, call it Conan. Yeah, if for some reason I'm ever convinced to do a video on the worst games of all time, rest assured you'll see that piece of garbage there. Yeah, you'll probably see that piece of garbage there. Along with many gems like Midnight Race Club's Charged, a game which I cursed since the day I found out about its existence. Dragon and Dragons, which I'm not sure how that thing plays on the Xbox, but it's pretty much unplayable on PC. Yes, there was a PC version. It was ridiculously difficult to find. And from what I've heard, from what I've been told, the Xbox version just as bad. What would we like if James, if he got his hands on that? I mean, he already got his hands on, he already tried, and without mentioning, which has an interesting development history. And the fact that there's no question it was released way too early, like most of the games that LJN published. No, that's a lot of publishers, especially of movie licensed games, Oh, stop freezing! Stop freeze jumping! Yeah, a lot of games I noticed in all eras of time, some of them were released way too early. Whoa, whoa! Games that bait you into doing dumb moves. Yeah, I've played a lot of. Yeah, I've seen a lot of questionable games that have been made over the years. Fortunately, though, there have been some good, yeah, especially for movie tie-ins. Fortunately, there have been some decent ones. Oh, oh, come on. Yeah, fortunately, there are some good ones. What the hell was that? Yeah, fortunately, yeah, there are some good movie tie-in games. Like one of the best ones is probably GoldenEye. And one of my personal favorites is Spider-Man 2, which I'll be making a video on later this month, because that game is turning 10 years old this year, officially passing into I think what is general definition for a retro or classic game, if it's over a decade old, which actually makes sense. Yes, got to a checkpoint. Yeah, I turned off the music because it'd be easier to record. Or mostly, it'll be more possible for it to be recorded on the computer until I can get a new one. But the sound is incredible. All sorts of 8-bit themes that take you back to a lot of older games if you've ever played them, and not just say seen them in YouTube videos. And also, a lot of them don't seem to take certain things into account with them, like the time period. Like I know, like whenever I see people bashing on ET, which in some aspects it is terrible, but compared to other Atari games, it wasn't that bad. Whoa! Why don't you atom? I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, a lot of these games. Let's see how I can make it through this level. Let's see, make it through here, walking across all the platforms. Over here, checkpoint. Oh, that was bad. Oh, I think this is the one when. What was our games? Let's see. Oh, that was a close one. Yeah, the login in the batch, they seem to be based on what other people in other videos have said, without actually, well, playing them. Like mentions for ET, I always mention this a lot for ET about supposedly being one of the causes of the video crash, which would have happened with or without that game. But whenever anything happens, people always like looking for scapegoats. Probably because it's easy to do. It's real easy to do. Like, for some reason, after Columbine, Doom was pretty much. The nerd is dead. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Especially even with all the years. And I've seen some games with no reason to exist that he should try to get hands on. I mean, there's so many bad games that have been made over the years. Game it almost depends on luck. Oh, hell, let's get that beer down there. Oh, there's Super Scope 6. Maybe I can show you that one for a second. Yeah, one of the more interesting NES peripherals. Now, this thing packs one hell of a wall of blow. But the only problem is, one hit, you're dead. Oh, you, oh. You're poking at the NES in some games with questionable design choices. Whoa! A lot of NES games had really questionable design choices over the years. A lot of them seemed like cheap games that were made just to cash in on certain things. Like majority of the LJN games. Which makes me wonder why there are a lot of good games that never came out here. Like oh! Finish line! Let's see, I can kill that fire. I can't kill fireballs. Let's see, don't bother with the Super Scope 6 right now, or not. Whoa! Why did that? I hate when these games tricky and making doing dumb things. Yeah, this is an interesting little game. Oh! There's that one section you keep dying at. Okay, I'll try and end this video. Welcome to Die. Yeah, if I find good end clip from the R.I.G, I'll end the video there. I think I'm making it through. Yes! Let's see if I can make it to the end of the level. Oh, I forgot to mention some of the other bosses. Yeah, like the boss of the adult stage. It was Custer from Custer's Revenge, which is also. I mean, listing every bad game that's ever made. I doubt even the R.I.G could get to all of them. There's so many really bad games that have been made over the years. For every console. A lot of them are results of the publishers having pulled out. What? That was barely! Result of a lot of these games being way too early. Of course, the most prevalent case, obvious case of that is Big Rigs and its sister game, Midnight March. Which is why I'm not going to be covering Big Rigs in any video, because it and Midnight Race cover the exact same game. Oh yeah, this reminds me that I found a really good indie platformer that I should be making. Good blocks. I'll try and get through this section. Oh! There's too much stuff on the screen. Yeah, a lot of games that are very frustrating, but not frustrating to the point when they want you to stop playing. I mean, I've gotten through this game before. It makes me wonder how anyone can complete this in the higher difficulties. Let's see. Yes, checkpoint. I think this might be the boss. Oh, that thing! The dragon. With death blocks and fireballs. Yes, I'll kill you, dragon! I'll kill you, dude! Oh! One hit at you with and you are dead. No kidding, Adrian. No kidding, James. It's almost like this game was made to get comments from people from game commentators like me. That's my. Yeah, I don't know what category I place the game under, so I'll just put it under regular R.I.G plays. Yeah, I killed that dragon. Deaths 40. Time 21 minutes. I spent over an hour of particular playthrough. Yeah, because I already completed a few stages last night. Congratulations, poking fun at NES typos, which were often the results of really bad. Let's see, I'll try this one. Which were often the result of bad translations. Well, I think it's about time to end this video. I mean, this game's a lot of fun. Definitely, and it's best to enjoy this for what it is. A throwback to basically 80s and 90s games. With things like almost predictable enemy behavior. Yeah, combined with AVGN, I guess you can call it the humor of AVGN episodes. Some of the info digs up on some of these games is real interesting. No, my final verdict for this game is an 8 out of 10. This game is great. Like I said, especially for what it is. That reminds me of those things from Mega Man. Well, until next time, everyone. Did jump over snowballs? What is this? Donkey Kong? Oh wait, I said this is the end, so yeah, this is it.